So I'm going to cut straight to the point on this one. The biggest obstacle between you and the things that you want to bring into physical reality, aka your results, aka the things that you want to manifest with ease and speed and consistency, is that you are trying too hard. And I know what you're thinking or saying out loud, like, wait, well, what about, like, Carrie, what do you mean I'm not, I should be trying as hard as I can. And maybe I should be, shouldn't I be saying my affirmations more often and visualizing with even more clarity, and maybe I should listen to more, binaural beats and get my energy in alignment and vibration at nighttime while I'm sleeping. And maybe I should feel the wish fulfilled and, imagine my end state and all the things. In actuality, you are trying too hard. You are trying to be and do something that inherently you are not. And I don't mean that with any disrespect. I don't mean that with any judgment. In fact, when you are judging yourself, right, as not being good enough, not being worthy enough, not being confident enough, not doing enough things, not being the kind of person that, has everything and anything that you are ultimately trying to manifest, those judgments of yourself and of, what's actually out in your reality, what is presently in existence, is one of the biggest reasons that it is not happening with the ease and speed and consistency that is possible. Now, I know what you're thinking again, like, but Carrie, you don't understand. I really want to create a new business, or I really want to create a new relationship, or I really do want to create some more money this year, or I really do want to get out of my, job and do my own thing. I totally understand that those are big, let's go with the big, hairy, audacious goal thing, right? They're big goals. They're big dreams that you are wanting to consciously create into three-dimensional reality. You're wanting to manifest different results in your life. And so it's like, well, how else do you do that? Well, it's very, very, very simple. Okay. The first thing is that you have to know, not just like believe, but you have to know that who you are right now, not who you think you are. You might think that you're your name, you're your age, you are stuck in a situation, you're stuck in a relationship, you're stuck in a job, and you want these different things, or maybe, you don't feel stuck, but you still want something different in some other area of your life. And, or so whoever you think you are, whether that's right or wrong, good or bad in your perception, you are still not that. And what I mean by that is we are all just energy, right? Differentiating itself into a soul. And then that soul is differentiating further in this human form, in this human existence. But at an energetic and at a soul state level, there is nothing missing. There is nothing right. There's nothing wrong. There is nothing you need. There's nothing broken. There's nothing that needs to be solved. And that is essentially at your essence, at your, like, not even at your core, but just like essentially what you are. And I really want that to land for you right now. Okay. Because that is like pure source of energy. The source of everything is literally the source of everything that you want in your physical reality. Physical reality is made up of intangible, infinite potentiality energy, which is why I teach energy intelligence and I teach you how to access the energetics in order for you to be able to change anything in any area of your life with greater ease and speed and consistency. And this is the first thing people just don't get, right? They're always trying to change their identity or like step into the version of themselves that blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yes, identity shifts are necessary. They are required. They are what I call one of the highest leverage points of change, because your identity shapes who you think you are. But we have multiple identities that we are operating simultaneously across different contexts of our lives. And when you, and that grouping of identities, right, is even beyond like who we think we are. We are unconsciously competent in being certain ways, right? So like if you operate better at nighttime versus in the morning, then you would potentially label yourself, which is still an identity. It's another version of, right, an identity, a label. You might be, right, a night bird or a night owl versus an early bird, all right, a morning bird kind of thing. So it's like you have to really start to be aware and pay attention to the language that you're using to describe yourself, even if you aren't really, even if you've never connected the dots that like, oh, like anything after I am is an identity that you are potentially operating from and informs your self-concept, the self that you think you are. But your self, right, is not your soul state. Your soul state is a higher leverage point of change than your self-concept, and which is made up of all the identities. So whilst a lot of people talk about shifting into another identity, yes, there is validity and there is truth in that, but it's not something you try to do. It's not something you have to force doing because it's just available to you. It's just like, it's just when it starts to just be as natural, it's just like, oh, okay, well, because think about it, like if you identify as a night owl, how easy or difficult is it going to be to wake up early at 5 a.m. in the morning and like get shit done before you go to work so that you can work on your side hustle so that you can like actually escape, the 9 to 5 hustle and like start working on your dream and consciously create that if that's what your dream is. Or, go to the gym early in the morning so that you can lose that extra 10 pounds so that you can attract the partner that you want because you now feel confident in whatever your clothes. And that's the reason that, you don't feel like you can actually attract a partner because you won't feel comfortable when you have to like have sexy time. I don't know. Like all my clients have different dreams and outcomes and results that they are trying to create. So it is whatever it is for you. It's like, well, if the you that you are now is identified with all these different things that you aren't even aware of, and that's how you're operating and that's how you are being without any conscious awareness or intention, then it's going to be hard and you're going to feel like you have to try and have this effort to be something or to do something that you're not. Not as in like, not what you already identify as, not as in like, not what is possible for you, because everything that you want to be, do, or have is actually possible in actuality, meaning energetic actuality. Actuality and reality are very different things. In your reality, right, it's old energy that is already manifested based on your self-concept, your identities that you have identified with consciously or unconsciously. So the more conscious awareness you have about who you are being, how you are operating, right, and what identities are ultimately then cascading down and informing what's important to you and what you believe and what you're capable of, what you're skilled in, and then what those skills and capabilities ultimately inform as your behaviors and actions that you either take or don't take. Because those actions and behaviors and words and all things are actually like one of the lowest leverage points of change that result in the final external reality environment that we find ourselves navigating as human beings, right? That's the lowest environment, is the lowest leverage point of change that I talk about all the time. And all that means is that it is the lowest amount of leverage for you to change it, because what's actually cascading and informing like how you end up taking an action or not is not just the behavior itself. Like how many times have you been aware of all the behaviors and the actions and the habits or the things that you want to change and start doing that you're not doing or stop doing that you are doing? It's like, okay, so you have logic and rationale and like awareness of that behavior. So then what the fuck is the problem? Like, why can't you stop doing it or start doing it? It begs the question, right, that there is something else informing that. And that's where we go up the leverage points of change ladder to find out, okay, well, where's the highest leverage point of change? And a lot of people think it's identity, but it's actually not, because your identities can be limiting you. And so it's not about creating just another identity on top of a whole fucking self-concept and bundle of identities that are actually not working for you at all. So that's the first thing, okay? Is that everything is ultimately energy. Soul state is one of the highest leverage, is an even higher leverage point of change than your identity. So it's not about identity shifting. It's not about like affirming things, because that's just at the level of behavior. It's not about visualizing, because that's another behavior thing. Yes, like it does, access your brain and blah, 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 blah. But like when your brain already knows and is wired to believe that it is something that doesn't have what you're visualizing or affirming, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to like, cut through all of that source programming energetically that's already been there, like, pre-verbal in utero, or even potentially that you've adopted ancestrally that you're not even aware of. Because energy is like literally all around us, interconnected. It's like it transcends time, space. And so like when you are living in a reality and you're like, the things that I want to try and do that I know I should be doing, right? I'm logical, it's logical, it's rational, but I just can't do them. That's typically when like there's an energetic leverage point that we have to go and find, or that you have to become more conscious and aware of. Okay, so that's the first thing. Everything is energy, and it's not just about identity shifting. So something I do almost every single day is I pre-pave, right? Another Abraham Hicks languagey thing. I pre-pave whatever it is that I am going to do. So if I'm going to on a trip, for example, well, what is involved in going on a trip? I need to pack. So I need to pack, I need to get into a car, I need to go to an airport, I need to check in my luggage, I need to go to the lounge, or I need to like, get on the board on the plane. The plane needs to take off, it needs to fly safely and arrive in the location, right? So there's all these steps that need to happen. Never mind, like I didn't even go on into like booking tickets and rental cars and all that kind of stuff. Everything that is required, I pre-pave the very next sort of steps that are involved in that. And what does that mean and entail? It just means that I expect that when I'm pre-paving, like I just flick energy in that direction and I just like command it to, happen with ease and speed and consistency, like, and flow and just like ease and joy. So if I'm going to the airport, I'll just like quickly just like send the energy down the highway and just be like, okay, clear the traffic, ease flow, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll just be like, okay, and then I'm going to have to like drop the car off. So then I'm, just quickly like get the person ready to come and meet me. And then I'm like, oh, okay, check-in. So I just make the check-in counter, like, like no lines, whatever, to like ease and speed. Then I'm like, oh, okay, like I've got to check my bags in. So I make sure that the bags know to come back to me. But it's not like I'm sitting there and I'm like affirming like, okay, my trip is going to be amazing and magnetic and magical. And like, everything's like, I'm like, no, I don't do that. And I don't visualize that like everything's going to work out for me and that it's like going to be the most amazing trip. I just like, I prepare the energy when we get into the rental car, when I even onto the plane, like I swirl some energy around the plane, around the little the wheels, the wings, the pilot. When we're on the plane, if there's like turbulence or whatever, which there really is because I've already pre-paved that it's going to be smooth sailing. So if there's like any kind of wobble in that, if I forgot to do it because I'm human and I do forget to do it, then suddenly, like if I'm on the plane and there's turbulence, I'll be like, okay, cool. I just like clear the air in the next step in the path and like clear all the passengers, like all their fear. So like, I mean, and this is not because I'm an energetic alignment coach. Like, I am an energy alignment coach because I've learned to work with energy my whole life. Because after I had a near death experience, like, I knew that everything was ultimately energy and was like, okay, how the hell do we access this in a tangible, practical, duplicatable, replicatable way? Because it's the thing that is like informing everything else. And since I was 10 years old, like I've had that knowing and I've, gone to do all the things, learn all the things to figure out all the things in all the ways from the woo stuff, the woo to like the neuroscience, quantum physics world. So it's like, it all comes back still to energy. And it's like, okay, well, how do you actually work with energy? It's very simple. You just direct the energy, right? And even in NLP, it's like energy flows where your attention goes. If you're placing your attention not on what's not working, not on what you need to find because things are not going according to plan, and there's like this feeling like, oh my God, there's something missing or I'm broken or I need to be fixed. I need to figure it out. And I need to, that energy is not ultimately going to even result in you finding something with ease and speed and consistency, because it's like this panic and like, oh my God, are there times when it's like, it does feel like dramatic and traumatic and totally like my world is crumbling? Absolutely. Why? Again, because we are human. We are human beings, right? As much as we are energetic beings having a human experience. And so we forget. Why? Because we've never been taught really from little, right? As much or like, more than anything else that we've been taught. So if you've never been taught how to work with energy, that energy even exists. We can't really judge ourselves for not really knowing like how it all works and for not getting it right, so to speak, right, all the time. But the more that you can stop judging yourself and get out of the this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this is what I should be doing, this is what I shouldn't be doing, and really just tune in and turn on your soul state, which is like where everything is in alignment, where and it is always working out for you, and there is abundance and there is growth, there is vitality, like everything is in order. It's like, okay, well, what would be available and what would be required from that space and place and energy, right? So, and just try, like, direct the energy, pre-pave your path, right? If you're going to the grocery store, practice with it, like pre-pave you even getting to the grocery store and like getting a parking lot. Don't try and find the parking space while you're in the parking lot. Like, that's too late. You've got to do it in before. You've got to get everything ready. It doesn't matter what you are creating, even the bigger manifestations, even the bigger dreams that you are trying to bring into your reality, right, are going to require the same level of cool, calm, and collectedness, right? Alignment, just like directing the energy. So when you have these wobbles and you're like, oh my God, it's like, okay, what is going to be required? If it's like, I need to leave my job, I'm dreading my job, I don't want to be in my job anymore. Okay, cool. So it's like, well, what is it that's going to make you feel cool, calm, collected, and aligned? And now chunk it down, right? Like, just get a sense of like, well, what is required right now for you to feel better about that? Okay, well, maybe it's like, and this is where it's like going to be hard for me to make shit up, because every single person is so different in terms of what is actually going to make you feel better and what is true for you and what is aligned for you, because what is true and aligned for you might not be what is true and aligned for me, right? But what happens, this is all I do with my clients all day long, is we just take all these big, right, chunked up dreams and things that like the fears and doubts and things that they want to do or things that they're scared to do, and we just break them down into small, digestible, easy pieces, and we start to pre-pave the way for that to happen with ease and speed and consistency. And the more you can chunk it down and just start say, okay, like, I want a new lip gloss. Okay, cool. So like, what feels easy and light for you in this moment? Is it to just go into your car and go to a shop, or is it maybe you jump online, right? So translate that into, I know, because remember this, like, oh, buying a lip gloss, you're like, oh, that's just so easy. Yes. So translate easy across to anything else that you are wanting to do or bring into existence in your life, even if it's $100,000. Okay, cool. Like, what is going to make that feel the most easy? For me, it is not going and, like commuting in the dark into a corporate position anymore, which I did for 2 years and I fucking hate it. It's like completely burnt out my nervous system. It was not aligned for me. But guess what? It might be aligned for you. You might thrive on that. You might truly like feel energized by that and like want nothing more than that. So that is then what we have to be like, okay, cool. So like, what's the next step for that? Like, okay, cool. Like, is your resume up to date? Is your, like, do you know what industry you want? Do you know what like location? Do you want to be in the same city? Like, what kind of, like, is it a big company or a small company? Right? Like, anything is fucking possible. It's just that you have to tune in, tap in, and turn on like what juices you up, what turns on your soul state, what makes you feel alive as a human being. Because anything from a soul level is possible. Pure energy, potential, right? Available. but like bringing it into physicality, reality as a human being, and what you as a human being have to do is the thing. Like you have to go and do the action, say the words, not me. So you've got to make sure that those things are aligned with like what actually feels fun. For me, like getting into my car and driving to the shop to go and buy a lip gloss is not fun. So I would rather go online. I would rather wait a couple of days even for something to be delivered to me. Right. And guess what? Like every time I do go online and like, do what I need to do, like there's often sales and I get it for, cheaper price or whatever. And it's just like, it's so much more fun. And when I do happen to be at the shops and I happen to think about it and I'm already there, guess what? Like it happens to be on sale there as well, because I'm always expecting and assuming that things are going to work out for me, because that is just how I just know. I know that everything is ultimately energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's just changing form. So if I am the one directing the forms that energy is taking, is taking or changing into, like 99.999% of the time, I'm going to experience that in my reality, in my physical reality. Because in actuality, I've tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to source of energy, soul state, etc. Pure potentiality, pure possibility. So your physical reality is just made of energy, which cannot be created or destroyed. It's just changing form. So it's time for you to transform your life and to start directing the energy and changing its form in that way. So have fun with this. If you need more support, I'll leave the link below so that you can join us in the Aligned Living Collective. And don't forget to subscribe so that you know how to come back to me. Like the video so the algorithm knows that you are enjoying my content, please. It really helps out my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're notified when the next video lands. All right, my beautiful friend, I'll see you soon. Bye.